Hi, my name is Muhammad Ali Berosidi. Now I want to present you about financial expenditure of the ministry in Malaysia. Project background. The Malaysian Cabinet is the executive body of the Malaysian government. The Cabinet is headed by the Prime Minister and is a council of ministers accountable to Parliament. Government expenditure is an important element for a country to enable a national plan to be implemented. The budget allocation through the annual budget presented by the Prime Minister has its own strategy to ensure that the country's wealth continues to grow and can be enjoyed by all citizens while enhancing the growth and development of the country as a whole. Apart of that, Malaysians also need to know where the government spend the country finances so that we Malaysians can support the government plans to the future. Every year, the expenditure of each ministry in Malaysia fluctuates according to the current and financial need of the country. This project has two variables, that is year 2003, 2014, 2004 to 2019, 2020, which is 17th year, and ministry, which is 13 ministries. There is a project objective. First, to analysis which type of government ministry of Malaysia have the highest and the lowest expenses. Second, to investigate the comparison the expenditure of government in each year. Third, to explore the pattern of ministry expenditure in Malaysia during 3 terms of government between 2003 to 2020. And the last one is to determine which ministry expenditure is the highest and the lowest consistency during 2003 to 2020. Alright, data description. Our data set from government expenditure by ministry is a large population size, which is everyone who work at government. Then sample and sample size is every person who work as government ministry, which is 13 people. Then from the data set, there are two variables with qualitative variable is expenses, while the qualitative variable is ministry. From the dataset, there are two variables with quantitative variable is expenses, while the qualitative variable is ministry. This data have the total expenses every ministry for every year from 2003 until 2020. The last one is the data was provided from Treasury Department, Ministry of Finance and Economy. Alright, next is the method of this project. What is the highest and the lowest total expenses by type of government ministry? Alright, based on the clustered bar chart, we can see that the highest total expenses is 19,262.6 million by Ministry of Finance, where the lowest total expenses had much different number which is 174 million by Ministry of Energy. Alright, from pie chart, the highest percentage is 27.22%, which is Ministry of Finance, and the lowest percent from the data chart is 0.25% by Ministry of Energy. Alright, next is total government expenditure each year. Based on clustered column chart, the highest government expenditure in each year is on 2014 to 2015 with 4,781.8 million, where the lowest government expenditure is on 2004 to 2005 with 3,338.2 million. Even though 2014 and 2015 is the highest government expenditure, we can see from the table that the total expenses of year 2014 2015 is not much different from the other, such as 2013 to 2014, 2009 to 2010 with 4,708.1 million and 4,529.3 million respectively. Alright then, to analyze the pattern of ministry expenditure in Malaysia during three terms of government between 2003 to 2020.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Asron bin Muhammad Nasri. So we continue to the third objective, that is to analyze the pattern of ministry expenditure in Malaysia during three terms of government between 2003 to 2020. As we know, every 5 or 4 years, Malaysia will hold election to replace or evaluate a government by voting for the government of their own choice. From 2003 to 2020, 4 elections have occurred and complete. Only 3 terms which can be analyzed from this data. To make comparison easier, column chart and bar chart are used because they are easy to interpret and compare. From this analysis, each term, the total expenditure of each minister for 4 or 5 years increase by year. As we can see, term 2004-2008 recorded total 3.6354 billion. That is the lowest total expenditure of each minister. The highest is in term 2013-2018. That's recorded 4.4863 billion ringgit. Next is objective number 4. Consistency analysis is very important to planning expense and maintaining existing finance for a ministry. Consistency can be measured by coefficient of variation, that is standard deviation per mean multiply 100% for population. The highest consistency is Ministry of Education with only 9.80% of coefficient of variation, and the lowest consistency is Ministry of Religion Affairs, recorded 3.08% of coefficient of variation. In addition, if we see the line chart, it's very easy to really see the difference between the highest consistency and the lowest consistency with only use the cross eye. Line Ministry of Education show a gradient approaching the line y equal to 1. That line means the average line compared to the Ministry of Religion Affairs line. It fall leave the average line, and the graph show data have a large gap, especially in year 2005-2006 to 2006-2007. Lastly, each ministry expedition receive each year fluctuated according to the need of each ministry. In conclusion, we realize expenditure of ministry more better from year by year starting 2003 to 2020. The highest is in 2014-2015 and lowest is 2003-2004. Ministry of Finance recorded the highest expenditure every year, and Ministry of Energy only 174 million because it was newly established in 2019-2020. The highest consistency is Ministry of Education and the lowest is Ministry of Religion Affairs. The most method we use is comparison using bar chart, column chart, pie chart and also line chart, because it can see easily comparison between variables. Last but not least is the way to translate or convert data for easy to analyze are also important as we use calculation of mean, standard deviation, total, coefficient of variation and variance. That's all from me and my partner. Thank you for your time.